Welcome to our deep dive into the concept of net zero and why it may be an impossible dream. In this video, we'll explore the illusion surrounding net zero goals, the staggering scale of emissions that we face, and the technological hurdles that complicate our path to reducing carbon footprints. We'll analyze the economic implications and political challenges that hinder progress, as well as the social resistance and natural limitations we encounter. Join us as we unpack these critical issues and discuss potential paths forward in the quest for sustainability. 1. The illusion of net zero. The concept of net zero has captured the world's imagination, beckoning us towards a utopian future where carbon emissions are balanced out by carbon removal. On paper, it sounds perfect. However, the reality is far more complex. The idea hinges on reducing greenhouse gas emissions to as close to zero as possible and capturing the remaining emissions through various methods. Yet, achieving this balance is akin to trying to drain an ocean using a teaspoon. The scale of the challenge is often underestimated, making net zero an impossible dream for many. 2. The scale of emissions. To understand why net zero is such a daunting task, we must first grasp the vast scale of global emissions. Each year, human activities release around 51 billion tons of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. This staggering number is equivalent to the weight of over 140 million Boeing 747s. The main contributors to this colossal figure are energy production, agriculture, and transportation. Reducing these emissions to zero is not just a technical challenge but a monumental societal shift that requires unprecedented global cooperation. 3. Technological hurdles. Technology is often hailed as the savior in the quest for net zero, but the road is fraught with obstacles. While renewable energy sources like solar and wind have made significant strides, they still account for only a fraction of global energy consumption. Carbon capture and storage (CCS) technologies, which are essential for offsetting emissions, are still in their infancy and require substantial investment. Furthermore, these technologies are energy-intensive, costly, and have yet to be deployed at the scale needed to make a meaningful impact. 4. Economic implications. Transitioning to a net zero economy is not merely a technical feat but an economic one. The financial burden of overhauling entire industries is staggering. For example, retrofitting buildings to be energy efficient or transitioning to electric vehicles requires vast sums of money. Small businesses and developing nations may find themselves unable to shoulder these costs, leading to economic disparities. Moreover, the reliance on fossil fuels is deeply embedded in the global economy, and transitioning away from it involves navigating complex economic and political landscapes. 5. Political challenges. Achieving net zero is not just a question of technology and economics, but also of politics. The issue of climate change transcends borders, demanding coordinated international efforts. However, political will is often lacking. Countries prioritize their economic growth over environmental commitments, leading to conflicts of interest. Additionally, policy changes can be slow and are often met with resistance from powerful fossil fuel lobbies. This makes it difficult to implement the necessary regulations and incentives to drive the transition to net zero. 6. Social resistance. Societal change is another hurdle on the path to net zero. People are generally resistant to change, especially when it affects their daily lives. The transition to a low-carbon lifestyle requires altering consumption patterns, changing modes of transportation, and embracing sustainable practices. This can be met with skepticism and resistance due to perceived inconveniences or costs. Additionally, there is a lack of awareness and understanding of the urgency of the climate crisis among the general public, which hampers collective action. 7. Natural limitations. Mother Nature herself poses challenges to achieving net zero. Natural processes that remove carbon from the atmosphere, such as photosynthesis and ocean absorption, are limited in their capacity. While reforestation and afforestation are vital strategies, they cannot absorb the vast amounts of carbon needed to reach net zero. Moreover, climate change is causing shifts in ecosystems, affecting their ability to sequester carbon. This natural limitation means that reliance on nature alone is insufficient to achieve the desired balance. 8. The path forward. While the dream of net zero may seem impossible, it is not entirely futile. The journey towards reducing emissions is a critical one, and every step counts. It requires a collective effort from governments, businesses, and individuals to foster innovation, implement sustainable practices, and raise awareness. Though the challenges are immense, they are not insurmountable. By acknowledging the complexities and working collaboratively, we can strive towards a more sustainable future, even if net zero remains an elusive dream.